Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today is just a rant because I've received many emails from people asking if I would go over the fact that there are car kill switches that are being put in. They want me to read about these car kill switches, and a lot of the emails that I'm receiving are asking why this is an issue that I have not covered. So let's go back through my channel a little bit. Should a car try to detect if you're drunk and disable the vehicle? November 2021. Car remote kill switch, another reason not to buy cars of the future. January 15th, 2022. I spent 20 minutes walking you through this thing from Congress, which apparently requires verification that I'm not a robot to read the laws of my own country. And I put timestamps here to make it as easy to understand as possible. A few months ago, I went over a politician that voted against this garbage, that was voted against in full. And he's also now being primaried in his own district for the crime of not being Epstein class first, and I guess not being sufficiently Israel first as well, Thomas Massie. And in addition to this, on this channel for a long time, I've gone over the fact that car manufacturers will pay people to say that if you have the ability to get access to the data in your car to be able to fix your car, that this hands the keys to China, North Korea, and Iran. I've also gone over many of Ford's patents back when my white balance was a little bit more on the reddish side about them patenting the ability to lip read and emotion detect inside your car. We've also gone over on the channel the fact that a judge has ruled that it's legal for your car to retain all of your text messages and not provide you with a way to delete them, even if you want to sell the vehicle to somebody else. So your entire call history and all your text messages get stored in your car, and it is not a privacy violation that after spending $40,000 to $60,000 in the vehicle that you can't delete them. And I've also gone over a lot of the nonsense that happened at National Highway Transit and Safety Administration when right to repair was passed in Massachusetts, and after several years of the judge asking for their input, NHTSA ignored them, and then once the judge finally said, okay, right to repair is allowed to go through, the judge sent out a notice to every major automaker saying don't comply with it. I've been going over this in this channel for quite a long time, and the issue, what I find, is not that I don't go over the issues, it's that unfortunately nobody cares, and of the very few people that care, an even smaller number actually participate. It's something I noticed even in the video that I did yesterday. I explicitly said, here's the exact letter that you should write to your representative so you don't have to think of it. And then somebody said, I want to talk about this, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say to my representative. And it's like, and I don't want to victim blame. And I understand this sounds like victim blaming, but I literally dictated it in the video. I don't know what else there is to do at this point. I've really tried throughout the 14 years that I've had this YouTube channel to try and make people aware of the things that have been going on and also tell you what it is that you can do. What are the actionable things that you can do to push back against it? And what I find is that I am a member of about 1% of people who care about these issues. And of the 1% who care about these issues, there are about another 1% of them that will then go and take action. And I understand to some extent why this is the case. I was reading an article in Bloomberg the other day. I forget if it was talking about Canada or the United States, but it was talking about how there used to be 8% of millennials live with their parents, and now 16% of millennials are living with their parents. And I remember many years ago, every now and then I do this thing just to remind myself why I need to keep my business in order, why I need to stay on my shit. I will actually try to get a job. And I remember reaching out to a resume coach, and I spent $500 or $1,000 to have the perfect resume crafted for about 500 different jobs that I had applied for across all different industries, like repair technician manager, marketer, search engine person, nonprofit stuff. I remember putting on here like raise millions of dollars for this nonprofit. Got to #1 on Google for all these different search keywords in a very densely populated field. Managed repair company that did thousands and thousands of repairs with the best rating and all. I applied for a number of things all across the spectrum. And over about 500 jobs, I heard back from one of them that was a rejection notice based on me not having a college degree. And a week later, I wound up getting a call from them, which I thought was funny. This was a nonprofit that I think had been collecting like $35,000 a year max. And I had put on mine, like raised millions to this particular nonprofit and everything else. And they said, oh, I thought I was auto rejected. It's like, oh, yeah, that was the HR, must have been the auto emailer or a bot or something. And I'm like, well, who sets up the bot? Is it your company? He's like, well, yes, but. And I'm like, well, I don't work for bigots. And I hung up. My point here is I realize if it's that hard for me, then what must it be like for normal everyday people that don't have the benefit of having 18 or 20 years of business experience, who don't have fame and celebrity and everything else? A lot of the people watching this channel are genuinely fucked, and those people don't necessarily have the wherewithal of the state of mind, or within what my personal trainer would refer to as the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when it comes to caring about something like my car turning itself off because it may sense if there's alcohol somewhere in 2027. I understand how in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, that's just not what's on the forefront of most people's minds. But at the same time, when I see how much is necessary to push the needle, and it's so much less than I ever thought, and then I see that I can't even inspire like 1% of that, it will start to drive me insane. And that's why I'm doing this. Is like I feel bad talking to people who I know have many other things to worry about than this. But at the same time, if nobody cares about it, then this is the result. The reason I do this every few years is to really remind myself and to give myself that kick in the ass. So the reminder that if I don't stay on my shit, if I don't do all the things that I need to do with my business and keep things in order, that I am... that I'm fucked. And I realize that many people that watch these videos don't necessarily have the time for all of this stuff because many people have other things to worry about. If you are worried that you're about to be replaced with a machine, if you're worried that you're going to be economically irrelevant, if you're worried about how you're going to feed yourself and what you're like, whether or not you're ever going to get married in this lifetime, if male-female relationships are ever going to be like what they look like in the movies rather than the clusterfuck that we have online now. I understand how your car potentially having a kill switch inside of it that stops it from working if it detects alcohol in the air might not be your biggest concern right now. And I do my best to not rant on this fact that most people do not contact the representative and let them know I'm voting for whoever the fuck the exact opposite is of you if you push this forward. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes when I have an inbox with over 100 fucking emails from people saying, why haven't you covered this? Look at this thing that you've been ignoring, when I've been going over it for about 5 years. I'm doing my best on my end. Unfortunately, I'm one person. And while I do have the ability to contact my representative, while I do have the ability to get across to tens of thousands of people who watch my YouTube videos, there's only so much I can do by myself. The rest needs to be done by you. If you're aggravated at this occurring, you need to make that obvious. You need to make your voice heard. You need to tell as many people as you can. It can't just be me doing a video. It has to be me doing a video and you telling everybody that you know in their personal lives why it matters. And then setting aside time to actually do something actionable in that particular area. Go to your local dealership and say, if you do this, I will never buy your car. It probably seems weird, probably seems awkward, probably seems like they're not going to care. What if they had 500 people show up every single day who did that? You think they wouldn't tell their boss? You think their boss wouldn't tell the person above them? You think that person wouldn't tell the person above them, above them, above them, who then tells a lobbyist, who then tells NHTSA to go shove it? You don't think that that would eventually get to a politician? If tens of thousands of you reached out to your politician when I did that video, do you think that the same thing would have happened? Or do you think this happened because of all the people who watched my video, like 2 people, if even, reached out and said anything? It can't just be me. It's got to be a lot more. It's got to be all of you. Don't assume that the other person watching the video is doing the work. Don't assume that don't assume that I have an army of 50,000 people that work for me that are all going to do this. It requires the work of all of you. And we've seen what happens when you take part in things. We've seen what happens when you participate. Things change. Cisco just got their ass handed to them in another state recently, all because of last minute work from all of you. There's always the ability to make a change, but that change occurs from you getting up off your ass and doing something about it. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I need to get this off my chest. Just a rant. Bye now.